Hello everyone, thank you for being here on this talk on how you can elevate your marketing game as an Odoo partner. My name is Venus and I'm a key partner manager at the Belgium office. I will ask you to get on your phones and to scan the QR code so that if you have any question during the talk, we can answer them at the end. Okay, is everyone ready? Then we will start. We will first start with a context. And that context will start with the number 70%. I don't know if you, as a partner, know what that number means. It actually means that 70% of our Odoo partners do not have a clear lead generation strategy. What's great about marketing, it's not about marketing strategy, but we need to go back to the basics, actually. So it means for you as a partner, understanding if you have a vision, if you know your positioning, if you actually know your differentiators. So that numbers actually shows that 70% of our partners do not have any idea of their positioning, of the vision that they have to create a relevant marketing strategy. So the main objective of the talks of today is actually to start the conversation on that marketing topic and your vision and your positioning as a partner. The idea is to challenge yourself. The second objective of the talk of today is to actually help you define a clear vision for your marketing strategy with different tips, tricks, tools, and questions that I may have for you. Let's start with a story. So I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a customer. You are a customer that, lucky for us, you have already chose Odoo as your solution. But now you want to decide with which partner you want to actually implement the solution. Monday morning, you are going to call the partner one. Partner one is actually a gold partner of Odoo. He has a daily rate of 900 euro per day and a team of 25 Odoo experts, which is a good base for the team, right? On a Tuesday morning, you will do the meeting with the second partner. That second partner is actually a silver partner, has a daily rate of 1,000 euro, and has a team of 30 Odoo experts. So now you, as a customer, I want to ask you, how would you choose? Based on what will you choose the partner you want to collaborate with? Knowing that both meetings went actually well. What we saw is that most of the partner, when during those meetings they have not highlighted any differentiators or they were not able to justify the cost of their daily rate, well, actually, the result is that the customer made most of the time a decision based on price. So it will be basically a price war. And that's not what we want, right? We don't want to roll the dice and to see basically what the customer will choose when we don't know the actually offer of the competitor. So the story of the customer is actually the story of a real customer of Odoo. And I want you to understand that the choice that he actually made is the partner two, the silver partner. Why? Because that silver partner were able to identify their differentiators and were also able to identify that during the meeting and to highlight that for the customer. So the customer understood the cost, even if the cost was higher than the other partner. So to recap, basically most of our partners lack of a clear vision, they have no target market, and they have no differentiators. So like I said with marketing, in order to establish a proper marketing strategy, we need to start at the basic and the beginning. So the first thing for that is the vision. What is actually the vision? The vision is the company's objective and the marketing objective. Without any company's objective, the marketing department will have no vision in order to create the marketing strategy. So what do I mean by marketing and company's objective? So company's objectives, it's numbers. It's numbers in terms of growth and it's numbers in terms of sales. So my first question is, for you, you as a partner, do you have those objectives for 2025? Or did you have those objectives for 2024? It needs to be numbers, again, in terms of growth and in terms of sales. And with those numbers, I also need numbers in terms of marketing objectives. Those numbers are how many leads as a partner should I generate. To illustrate that, we'll start with a story once again. So let's say that I am a partner. 2025 will be my third year as a partner at Odoo. Last year, I made 100,000 in sales with Odoo. But within those 100,000, I made 300,000 in new business. So why do we need to focus on new business? Well, actually, because to establish marketing strategy, the idea is to attract new customers. So we are going to base our target on those numbers. So let's say that last year I made 500,000 and 300,000 in new business. Now the second question that you need to ask yourself is the growth objective. So what do you want for next year? What do you want for 2025? Let's say that me, it's my third year of partner, so I want a 50% growth. I know that's a lot, but I'm confident. So I want to have that 50% growth, so it means to have 450,000 in sales in 2025. Now I need to actually think of my average ticket. So if you are a new partner of Odoo, starting the journey as a partner, you actually can reach out to your partner manager or base your objective on data and set up a average ticket. If you are an experienced partner, look at the numbers that you have on your Odoo, for example. You know what is your average ticket. And when you have that average ticket, well, you will know actually how many projects do you need signed in 2025 in order to reach that target in growth and in sales. So my average ticket is 50,000. Okay, so it means that I have to have 9 projects signed in 2025 in order to reach the goals that I have. Next question that I have for you is, do you know your conversion rate as a partner? Do you actually know what is your conversion rate? If you are an existing partner of Odoo, using Odoo, normally in the dashboard app, you should have that information. If you are a new partner starting on the journey, ask your partner manager. We also have that information with the leads created by partners. But when you have that conversion rate, you have the final number that you need to have, which is the marketing objective. How many leads do you need as a partner in order to succeed? Once you have that vision, so marketing objectives, growth objectives, and sales objective, we need to understand to whom do we sell our services. Meaning, starting with the target market. It appears quite simple, but actually, do you know as a partner the market you are working in? It's quite important to actually understand the market you are working in. And to do that, you can use different tools. The first one, for example, that you could use is a PESTEN analysis. So it means understanding the political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental sector or market that you are working in once again. In order to have that, you need to do that analysis. For then do localized marketing. So Odoo is marketing the product, right? But for you as partner, you need to understand and you need to do marketing on the services that you are going to provide to that customer. And you need to do that with localized marketing. And then you need to choose industry. You can choose one or multiple industry. If you are an existing partner of Odoo, you have experience, you have done implementation, you have references, and you have some expertise in those sectors. You need to use that to target those specific industry. Why? Because you understand them, actually. You understand the industry. If you are a brand new partner on Odoo, well, ask yourself, what are my previous job experiences? Why I am asking you that question is because you then know the industry also. You know the industry, you know the sector, you know the problems, and you know what they are looking for. Then, after selecting one or multiple industry, you will do geographic segmentation. Let's say that you are a partner specifically working on manufacturing implementation with manufacturing industry. You need to understand where are they based in your country. Why? Because once again, you are going to invest sometimes and money in the marketing industry. Do that properly. Do that with a geographic segmentation as well. Why I am also insisting on choosing one or multiple industry is because with marketing strategy, you will be able to target with different channels and in different ways. So use that also to target different type of industry and the different type of potential customer. The second thing is the buyer persona. So what is actually a buyer persona? Well, like it says, it's the person who will buy Odoo and your services. Do you actually know as partner your buyer persona? Because most of the time when I ask that question to partners, they will all say to me, it's the CEOs. But do you think really that that answer is specific enough? The CEOs of what industry? The CEOs of what sector? What type of companies? You need to be more specific. Plus, you need also to understand that when you target a certain type of company, do you really think that it's the CEO who is looking for the solution? I don't think so. That's why there are two types of buyer persona. The first one is the decision maker, such as, for example, the CEO. It's the person that will make the final decision, that will sign your contract, and that will choose Odoo. But you need to actually understand who is the second type of buyer persona, which is the influencer. Who is going to put Odoo on the table? Who is actually going to go and look for any potential solution to provide a list of providers for the CEO, for example, to make a final decision? You need to understand who is your buyer persona. And you need to understand which buyer persona you should look for. Once again, there's buyer persona, for example, per industry. So you need to have those information, the vision, then the buyer persona, in order to complete your market strategy analysis. Then we need to understand what are we selling. But by what are we selling, I'm not actually talking about implementation services such as training, such as custom developments, such as support or maintenance. I know that you guys are partners and you are basically all providing those type of services. What I mean by that is what is the actually added value of the services that you are offering to the customer. In order to understand that, you actually need to start with the problems and pains. That's why when I'm saying if you are a brand new partner, look for your previous job experiences, it's because you then know the sector, you know the industry, you know the problems and pain. You need to understand what is the problems and pain of your buyer persona in order to bring a solution to that buyer-specific persona. You also need to understand who is using your solution. That's why, for example, in inbound marketing, you will actually create blog posts or newsletter answering with concept that those problems and by bringing solution with, for example, the blog post. After doing that, you need to understand who are your competitors with the competitors analysis. By that, I mean, who are your competitors? Do you know as partners who are actually your competitors? That is a real question. You actually need to understand who you are competing with. And the second thing that you need to understand is the list of what they are offering in terms of product, in terms of services, in terms of added values. You then need to identify the gaps and the differentiators. They are offering something. What are you offering? What are you bringing to the table? What are the gaps? How can you fill the gaps as well? Then you as a partner, you need to define your differentiators. It actually means what are your differentiators? I want you to ask yourself as partners, do you know what are actually your differentiators? Because when I ask that question, many partners say to me, well, it's my implementation methodology. Well, actually, when we look at the implementation methodology with most of the partners, and I'm not saying it's the case every time, but it's following the same path and the same principle of the Odoo implementation methodology, for example. Or others might have said to me, well, I have a team of experts, which is great. Indeed, you have a team of experts. But first, what happens if your team leaves? Then what is left are your differentiators. Second thing, what if your competitors also have a team of experts? Are you going to only rely on that for the customer to make the final decision? No. Actually, you need to understand what is going to value the customer. And you need to build up on that to build your differentiators. Your differentiators, they also need to be something that is tangible. If we go back to the example of the expert, like I have said, if you say that you have a team of 25 experts, how can you bring something tangible for the customer? Well, maybe you will say, well, my team is 25 experts of Odoo, and I have 25 Odoo certification that can testify that. That is something tangible. That is something that the customer can actually rely on to actually believe and pay for the price that you are invoicing. If we recap a bit, the first thing that you need to do is build that foundation for your marketing strategy. So it will start with the objective. Think of your objective for 2025 in terms of growth, in terms of sales, in terms of marketing objectives. When you have done that, do your target market analysis and understand who are your buyer personas. Once again, do the difference between the decision maker and the influencer. You need to also target the influencer because he's the one who's going to look for the solution and bring Odoo on the table. The third thing is your differentiators. You need to analyze your differentiators. I want basically you to leave that talk asking yourself, what are my differentiators as a partner? I want you to list them, and I want you to put then yourself in the position of a customer. Are those differentiators tangible enough and specific enough that I can understand why, for example, that partner is charging X, Y, and Z amount a day? Then, with that foundation, you will be able to basically develop your marketing strategy. You have your inbound strategy and your outbound strategy. You will need to think them like your two arms that you need to use in order to optimize your success. Inbound strategy is most of the time long-term. Basically, the idea is attracting customers. For example, you can use newsletters, blog, you can do YouTube videos. You can highlight your services on the partner page of Odoo. And basically, while talking about the partner page, we have another example. I want you to do the test. Go then after the talk on the partner page of Odoo and look at the description, the short description of all the partners. According to you, do you think it shows the differentiators of each partners? Or for you, is it basic information of the introduction of the company? Because this is the page that the customer will look at, making a decision on choosing to who they are going to send the request for their services. So you see those type of inbound strategy, it's long-term, and it's expanding time, basically. Another thing that you could do is lead magnet. Lead magnet, it's basically, for example, ebooks or case studies. The idea is, once again, creating content to attract the customer. And to attract that customer, we want them to click on the ebook or to click on the case study. And while clicking, what we are going to request also is the email address. And then now you have an email address to target your customer and start collaborating with him. Then we have the outbound strategy. Basically, the idea here is expanding money. Everything you pay for should be short or medium term. So it could be Google ads, LinkedIn ads, it could be events, it could be trade shows. But basically, you need to deploy inbound and outbound strategy as a partner in order to highlight those criteria. The idea, in the end, is to work on those differentiators, work on that positioning, work on that vision in order to define your marketing strategies. Thank you very much. I will ask you to scan once again, if you hadn't had the chance, the Q&A, so that I can answer all of your questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Venus, for this talk. We do have a few questions, actually. So first one is, as an Odoo partner, how can I define my differentiator?
Well, like I said, differentiators is basically how you will, for example, implement project, what type of services you provide to the customer, and you actually need to look for them precisely. Once again, like I said, implementation methodology, oh, it's my implementation methodology that is a differentiator, is not enough as an answer. You need to be way more specific. So for example, you say, well, I have a team of developers that can do custom development for you. Okay, but have you done specific developments that you use as an expertise? Can you give me something tangible for me as a customer so that I can have actually something to rely on to make a decision and to understand what you are actually saying? So what we are also suggesting to our partners is to come and talk to your partner manager so that we can have a more close collaboration on those marketing topics, and we can also work together, brainstorm together to actually find out what are the differentiators of our partners.
Okay. We have another one. I think you already answered it, but maybe we can dive a bit deeper. Is Odoo providing specific trainings to help partners establishing a marketing strategy?
Well, the first thing that we provide to partners is our onboarding session. So the session that we are giving on different topics. We are giving one specifically on marketing and sales. So that's a first step into the conversation of marketing strategy, vision, differentiators. And we are also working on other type of trainings and services that we could provide regarding that topic. So I will definitely keep you updated.
Okay. Next one is, as a Odoo partner, should we prioritize inbound or outbound marketing strategy?
Well, in an ideal world, you need to do both, and both simultaneously, basically. But the reality is that inbound strategy, for now, doesn't cost anything. So if you lack basically of investment in marketing, you cannot invest a lot in marketing. I would start with inbound, but ideally you do both at the same time.
Okay. Actually, we do have a lot of congratulations. Like it seems like the talk was very appreciated. So good job again. We have two other questions. So, how can we define our buyer persona? So again, maybe you can provide us some more insights.
Yeah. So once again, buyer persona is the decision maker and the influencer. So in terms of buyer persona, you really need to understand who is the influencer. And that's why I really insist on choosing industries that you know and that you understand, so that, for example, let's say that you are a partner that has an expertise in accounting, okay? You will have then as a buyer persona, as the influencer, for example, accountant that will look for a solution to implement internally in their company, right? But if you know their pains and their problems, you will be able to create, for example, content that are relevant for those accountants, so that when they look online for any type of solution, you have answered those type of solution and problems.
Okay. We got the last one actually. Do you have some good example of differentiator?
Yeah, so I have one, for example, a partners had trouble finding, exactly like you said, a way to identify their differentiators. And they were very specific in accounting, right? It's not in Europe. It's a partner in another country. And what he did is actually, while talking to him, we discovered that when he was implementing the accounting part of Odoo, he actually systematically audit the implementation of the accounting module by an external audit accounting firm. So it gave a reassurance, something tangible for the customer. So basically, he said, an accounting expert implementing Odoo, okay? And I can give you a proof of that, because every time I implement accounting, basically I do an external audit of the implementation, and you have a proof that everything has been done correctly.
Okay. I think we answered everything. So again, thanks again. Oh,
Thank you very
actually,
much.
we got a nice, nice last question. Wait, I saw it. Okay, it seems like it disappeared. So I don't know.
That's
Again,
fine.
thanks again for closing the day.
Thank
And
you very
thanks.
much.